Hello there, and welcome to the Good Old Days of Radio Show. This is John Tefteller, your host, and like we did last Tuesday, we're going to do something different. We actually just decided to go to the shelves where we have thousands and thousands of radio transcription discs and just pull something off the shelf, try to find something that isn't readily available elsewhere, and let you hear it kind of raw. Just drop the needle on the transcription disc with no restoration. These are mostly very clean transcriptions, so there's very little issues with them in the first place. But in any case, just drop the needle on the transcription and let you hear the show as we hear it in the studio for the very first time. I have a lot of transcription discs, and there's a lot of things to do, but we'll just pick some comedy-type ones since this is our Tuesday segment. For today, we are going to reach back way into people's memories. You all have probably heard of Laurel and Hardy and Abbott and Costello and the Three Stooges and the Marx Brothers, but how about Wheeler and Woolsey? You have to be pretty old or pretty into vintage comedy to know what Wheeler and Woolsey, or who Wheeler and Woolsey were. They were what I would call kind of a third-rate comedy team. They made a series of films. Some are better than others. The second half of, actually the first half, Woolsey died in 1938, and Bert Wheeler continued on after that. Bert Wheeler didn't pass away until 1968, but his original partner, Woolsey, died in 1938. So what we have here is from Mutual Radio, June 13th, 1945. It's the FreshUp Show, and by FreshUp, they are referring to 7-Up, the soft drink that's still available. So you get to hear some early commercials for 7-Up on this show. It's the FreshUp Show starring Bert Wheeler, and it's kind of not really a vaudeville type comedy like what they did in their movies. They're kind of more going for a more 40s type sitcom here, but it's interesting and definitely extraordinarily unusual. I think there's supposed to be another episode of this, a different one, floating around out there in collector's circles, but I don't think this one is floating around out there, so here's an exclusive for you from the Good Old Days of Radio Show. The FreshUp Show starring Bert Wheeler from June 13th, 1945. Here we go.
Fresh Up with 7-Up. You like it, it likes you. The makers and distributors of 7-Up, America's Fresh Up drink, bring you the Fresh Up Show, starring Bert Wheeler. Bert, you know, works for Doc Fickett, proprietor of Sunnydale's local drugstore. Doc is determined to get Bert to marry his not overly bright daughter, Viola. And here's the little man who doesn't want to marry her, Bert Wheeler.
Doc, I'm telling you, I am not the boy for Viola. Why doesn't she marry somebody like Pete Higgins across the street? He owns his own grocery store. He's got plenty of money in the bank.
A man of Pete Higgins' background isn't fit to breathe the same air as Viola.
Well, why are you so against Pete?
Pete Higgins has a blemish on his reputation.
Well, did you ever hear about my reputation?
No.
Well, I'll tell you, Doc. Do you mind if I eat a combination sandwich?
Go right ahead, Bert. Just make sure the combination is nothing but bread and bread.
No points. Well, Doc, you talk about reputations. I have really got a terrible reputation. I was a roughneck when I was a kid. Even when I was born, the last 3 blocks I had to carry the stork. That's not all. When I was only 6 years old, I ran away with the circus. And the police found me, and they made me put it back.
Careful now. You're making that up.
No, I'm not. My father was a sharpshooter in that circus. He used to shoot $50 from between my mother's fingers. But he doesn't do it anymore.
No more half dollars?
No more fingers.
Now, don't think for a minute that these lies are going to get you out of marrying Viola, Bert.
I'm not lying, Doc. Honest, I'm not. I'm warning you. It may have, terrible results. Like when I was young, my family forced me to take music lessons. For confirmation, my father bought me a beautiful new instrument. And I practiced on that instrument. I blew and I blew and I blew, but nothing happened. And I found out why. It was a violin.
Bert, that has nothing to do with the marriage.
Look, Doc. I've been disillusioned, especially about marriage. I'll tell you why. My best pal got married, and 2 weeks later, he found his best friend kissing his wife. Well, that poor fella came to me all broken up. I can still see him standing there, looking at me, the tears running down his face. I can still hear his voice as he spoke to me.
And what did he say?
He said, "Stop kissing my wife." Oh, I can't take it, Doc. I'm not strong enough to get married.
Well, we can build you up lots of exercise and plenty of Wheaties.
Oh, Doc, don't mention Wheaties. Something terrible might happen to Viola.
It could?
Yeah. I'll tell you, before I came to work, I was in love with a wonderful girl in Oakville. I called her Tulip. She had a nose like a bulb. But she said I wasn't strong enough. So I tried to build myself up. I tried everything. And then I saw an ad for Wheaties, breakfast for champions. For a whole month, I ate nothing but Wheaties, morning, noon, and night. And finally, I was ready for my big date. When I went out the front door, my mighty thrust tore that door off its hinges. It was those Wheaties. On the way to her house, the steering wheel of the car crumpled in my manly grasp. It was those Wheaties. Then the car turned over in a ditch, but I picked it up and put it back on the road. It was those Wheaties. But when I got to her house, I put my arms around her to kiss her, and then, Doc, I was so strong. I broke the neck of the only woman I ever loved.
Here's David Terry with the 7-Up Orchestra and Chorus to make music. And to make lyrics, here is Ruth Davey. Hiya, Ruth.
Fine and dandy, Jerry.
And in a singing mood?
Singing's what I like most of, the best of. Just give me a chord and I'm off to the races.
Well, Dave Terry's got the chord. Let's hear you tie this tune up in a neat package.
Okay, Jerry, just paste the label on it.
Well, the name is Gotta Be This or That. The girl to sing it is Ruth Davey. Take off, Ruth.
If you ain't wrong, you're right. If it ain't dark, it's light. If you ain't sure, you might. Gotta be this or that. If it ain't full, it's blank. If you don't spend, you bank. If it ain't bing, it's frank. Gotta be this or that. Who can it be if it ain't me? I know it's not your brother. Can't you see it's gotta be one way or the other? Tell me what I must know. If you don't like, I'll go. If it ain't yes, it's no. Gotta be this or that. Gotta be this or that.
Doc Fickett's drugstore in Sunnydale has suddenly taken on a romantic atmosphere for Viola, Doc's dizzy daughter. She's now sitting on a stool at the soda fountain where Bert Wheeler is busy wiping glasses.
Oh, Bert, you look so manly wiping those glasses.
Oh, Viola, why don't you go away and leave me alone?
Oh, Bert, can't you find a little love in your heart for me?
Look, Viola, I'm not the one for you. I'm not worthy of you. You're a sweet girl. You're a lovely girl. You're a charming girl. What am I? I'm none of those things. I'm a boy. And besides, I'm too young to get married.
Oh, if you marry me, I'll make a man out of you in no time.
I don't want to rush my childhood like that. Say, Viola, I want to ask you a question.
Yes?
What's the matter with you marrying Pete Higgins?
Pete Higgins? I wouldn't go near him with a 10-foot pole.
Suppose I got you an 11-foot pole.
No, Pete Higgins is an awful character.
He is?
You know yourself he's been in jail.
Well, that was just for double parking. That's nothing.
That's nothing. Bert Wheeler, to think you'd suggest that I'd marry a criminal, a man that's had his name in the police books. I'll never marry a man who's been in jail.
Oh, but after all, what did you say?
I said I'd never marry a man who's ever been in jail.
Are you sure?
Yes?
Well, can I depend on that?
What do you mean?
Nothing. I just,
Oh, Bert, here comes Papa.
Oh, hello, Doc.
Now listen, Bert. I stopped by on my way to the druggist convention to tell you something. A lot of important druggists are in town, leaders in the trade, and I want to be sure you don't pull any bonus. Now listen carefully, Bert. If you run into me any place today, don't recognize me. No matter what happens, pretend you don't know me.
I wish I didn't.
Now let's practice. I'm a perfect stranger to you. I walk in the store. All right, here I come. Well, say something.
I'm sorry, but I don't talk to strange men.
I don't suppose you see many strange faces in town.
So far, yours is the strangest.
That's very, very good, Bert. You're doing fine, my boy. How would you like a raise?
Oh, gee, Doc, that'd be swell.
You see, that's just what I mean. You're not supposed to know me.
Well, I should have known if you offered me a raise, it couldn't be you.
Now, don't make any more mistakes. Goodbye. Come on, Viola.
All right, Papa. Bye, Bert.
Oh, hello there, Mr. Fuddle. I didn't see you come in.
Well, Bert.
I suppose you came in for your vitamin pills.
I'm still trying.
Say, Mr. Fuddle, do those vitamin pills increase your vitality?
No, Bert. They just help me hold on to what I've got.
Well, I want to ask you something.
That's funny. I want to ask you something, too.
You do? Well, go ahead.
Do you know how to mix castor oil so it won't taste bad?
Castor oil so it won't taste bad. Oh, sure, there's a lot of ways to do that. But I've got something a lot more important to ask you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Say, what would be the first thing you'd do if you wanted to get yourself in serious trouble?
I just talked back to my wife.
Well, that's good, but I mean serious trouble. Something that'll get me in jail.
You mean you actually want to go to jail, Bert?
Sure I do. Then Viola won't marry me. You couldn't think of anything, could you?
Oh. You could drop a letter in the mailbox without a stamp.
Well, that's not bad. Say, Mr. Fuddle, how about a chocolate soda? Would you like one?
Oh, yes, very, very much.
Okay, I'll mix one for you. You see, if I get a blemish on my character, get put in jail, Viola won't have anything to do with me.
That's wonderful, Bert. Maybe you could... I'll answer the phone for you, Bert.
Thanks, Mr. Fuddle.
Hello, this is Doc Finkett's drugstore. Hello, is that you, Irma? Bert, it's my wife. She found me.
They always do.
What's that, Poochie Woochie? Oh, my goodness.
What's the matter, Mr. Fuddle?
Something terrible's happened to Poochie Woochie. She says she loves me. What, dear? You love me so much you'd even die for me? Oh, you always say that, but you never do it. I said, I hope you never do it, dear. Well, what'd you call me for? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm. Well, dear, I don't see why. What? Oh, now I see why. Bert, she just said she'd take care of me when I get home. Do you think that's a threat?
I call that an invasion.
All right, dear, all right. I'll be down. Bye-dee.
But what's all the excitement about, Mr. Fuddle?
Irma's down at the Palm restaurant, and she forgot her purse, and they said they were going to put her in jail if she didn't pay that check right away.
Said they were going to do what?
Put her in jail.
You mean they could put you in jail for not paying a restaurant check?
That's what Irma says. Gee, I gotta hurry.
Well, finish your soda while I get my hat. I'm going down to that restaurant with you.
Are you hungry?
No, but I'm going to eat a great big meal anyhow.
Why?
Well, I'll refuse to pay the check. Then they'll put me in jail. Don't you see? That'll fix me with Viola Fickett.
But, Bert,
Oh, don't argue, Mr. Fuddle. It's a great idea. Come on. You through with your soda?
Yeah.
Well, come on, then.
Yeah, but, Bert, you haven't told me yet how to mix castor oil so it wouldn't taste bad.
Oh, that's all taken care of. Come on.
What do you mean?
Well, the castor oil was in that ice cream soda I gave you. Wasn't that clever of me?
I don't think it was so clever.
What do you mean? You drank the castor oil without tasting it, didn't you?
Yeah, but it won't do any good.
Why not?
I wanted the castor oil for my wife.
If you folks are like me, you find it difficult to keep the starch in your spirits when summer heat melts you down. That is, it's difficult until you learn the secret of a FreshUp with 7-Up. The answer to your thirst problem is just that simple. For when you sip this bright and cheerful drink, thirst vanishes, and brisk, tempting 7-Up tastes so clean and cool in your mouth that your spirits just naturally improve. You're soon in a smiling mood because of the pleasant satisfaction you get. And here's an important point about 7-Up for you mothers. 7-Up is completely wholesome and good. So invite the whole family to fresh up with 7-Up often. Yes, and keep smiling.
So fresh up with 7-Up.
Well, to get out of marrying Viola Fickett, Bert Wheeler is willing to trade wedding bells for a patrol wagon bell. Here is Bert and his faithful friend, Mr. Fuddle, finishing a sumptuous meal at the swanky Palm restaurant in Sunnydale.
Boy, am I full. Oh, here, Mr. Fuddle. How about some more champagne?
No, thanks, Bert. My finger bowl's full. Besides, this imported champagne makes my fingers dizzy.
Let's see that check the waiter just brought.
Here, Bert. It's $19.
Is it really? Oh. If I don't pay this, it'll land me in jail for sure.
Oh, here comes the manager.
Well, let him come. You beat it, Mr. Fuddle. Go outside and wait around the corner till you see them take me away in the wagon.
Okay, Bert. I'll wave goodbye to you.
Okay. Has this guy got a surprise coming?
Well, sir, did you enjoy your meal?
No.
No?
No, and I'm not going to pay for it.
Well, in that case, we'll have to do something.
You're darn right you'll have to do something. Go on, don't stand there like a dope. Call the police.
Who said I was going to call the police?
I did, you bald-headed baboon. Get the cops.
I'm not going to call the cops.
Well, what are you going to do, wise guy? Ouch! Let go of my nose, please.
Listen, my little friend, you're going out in the kitchen and wash $19 worth of dishes.
Gee whiz, Bert's been in that restaurant 3 hours. I wonder if he sneaked out while I wasn't looking.
Now, get out. Out! Out! Get out and stay out.
No, he didn't sneak out. Bert, are you hurt?
No. But look at my hands from washing those dishes. I'll be ashamed to ever put them on a pool table again. Well, there must be some way a man can get arrested in this town.
Maybe if you steal something, they'll lock you up.
Hey, that's an idea. Let's see. What could I steal?
How about stealing Mrs. Riley's wash off the line?
Oh, that'd be too dirty. Say, Mr. Fuddle. Oh, look. You see that man coming along towards us?
What about him?
Look what he's carrying, an umbrella.
Silly, it's not going to rain.
I am going to steal his umbrella right in broad daylight.
Gee, Bert, you're clever.
This ought to do the trick. I'll grab it and pull it right out of his hand. Here he comes. Mm-hmm. Watch this, Mr. Fuddle. Hey, you!
Yes?
Give me that umbrella.
Oh, I'm terribly sorry, sir. I didn't know it was yours.
How do you like that?
Why don't you give the whole thing up, Bert, and marry Viola?
Marry Viola. Why, Mr. Fuddle, with all you have to go through with your wife, how can you suggest such a thing?
Oh, sometimes marriage isn't so bad. For instance, after I've done the supper dishes, Poochie Woochie lets me sit in the soft chair by the fire. Just me and my two dogs. My left one and my right one. Then she brings me my slippers and she lights my pipe. And she curls up on the floor and rests her head on my knee. And she starts to talk. She talks and talks and talks. Sometimes I wish she'd drop dead.
I've got to commit a crime before that happens to me. Say, what do you got in that bag, Mr. Fuddle?
Well, oh, they're potato peelers, Bert. I bought them while you were in the restaurant.
Potato peelers?
Yeah, I bought the last two in the store. They're very convenient when Poochie Woochie makes me peel potatoes.
Let me have them. I got an idea.
Sure, Bert. Here they are.
Thanks.
What's your idea?
See, I'm going to sell these potato peelers right out here in the street. There's a law against street peddlers. When a cop comes along, he'll pull me in.
I hope it works.
All right now, Mr. Fuddle, you be the shill. You know what that is, just shill around for me a little bit when I get the crowd here. Here they are. Ladies and gentlemen, take home a patent potato peeler. Why put a ceiling on your peeling? Make your potatoes happy with a workable Wheeler peeler.
That sounds wonderful. I'll take one, Bert.
No, you're not supposed to buy one. Get out of it. You're just a shill. Hey, here comes the customer we're looking for, a cop. Yes, sir. Come and get 'em while they last. The workable Wheeler peeler.
Hey, just a minute, young fella. You got a permit to peddle them things on the street?
Who needs a permit?
You do.
Run along, officer. I'm not poking my nose in your business, so you keep yours out of mine.
Oh, is that so? Well, come along down to the station house. We'll see whose nose is in what business.
Okay. There are smiles that make you happy.
Hello, Bert.
I'll never smile again. Viola, will you please go away?
Bert, you give me one of those potato peelers. They're valuable.
Oh, just a moment. If they're so valuable, I think I'll take one home to my wife.
You can't get them anymore, officer.
All right, miss. You take one and I'll take the other.
What about me? You've got to arrest me.
What for?
Well, I haven't got a permit.
You haven't got any potato peelers either. So you ain't breaking the law. Now move along, the lot of you.
Goodbye, Bert. I'll be waiting for you at the drugstore. Goodbye, Mr. Fuddle.
Goodbye. Gee, Bert, where did Viola come from? You'd think she was lying in ambush.
That's the story of my life, forever ambush. Gee, how am I ever going to get arrested?
Look out, Bert, you'll trip over that pile of bricks. I guess they're fixing the street here.
Say, you know I can use those bricks? Yes, sir.
What are you going to build, Bert?
You see that window?
Yeah?
I am going to throw a brick right through that window. You go in and report me to the manager.
Okay, Bert. Oh, say, here comes Doc Fickett.
What do I care? I'm not supposed to know him today. Hurry up, go on in the store and report me.
All right, Bert, if you say so.
Oh, boy. I'll wham this brick right through that window. If that doesn't get me arrested, nothing will. I'll wind up and use the famous Wheeler peg from center field to home plate. Here goes.
Bert, what is the matter with you?
Oh, hello, stranger.
Bert, have you gone crazy throwing bricks through plate glass windows?
No, I haven't, stranger. And just to show you, I'm going to put this brick through the window next door.
Here, give me that brick. You must be out of your mind.
Hey, wait a minute. You with that brick.
What is it, officer?
What do you think you're doing? Busting up private property and breaking glass, you hoodlum, you?
Now, look, I didn't throw that brick. I'm a decent, law-abiding citizen.
Ask my employee here. He can tell you I'm Dr. Fickett.
Oh, young man, can you identify this character?
I never saw him before in my life.
What?
That's all, Doctor. Let's go.
Ruth Davey with David Terry, the 7-Up Orchestra and Chorus, sings the very popular hit, I Didn't Know About You.
I ran around with my own little crowd. The usual laughs, not often but loud, and in the world that I knew, I didn't know about you. Chasing after the ring on a merry-go-round, just having my fun where it could be found, and yet what else could I do? I didn't know about you. Darling, now I know I had the loneliest yesterday, every day. In your arms, I know for once in my life I'm living. Had a good time every time I went out. Romance was a thing I kidded about. How could I know about love? I didn't know about you. Darling, now I know I had the loneliest yesterday. Every day. In your arms, I know for once in my life I'm living. Had a good time every time I went out. Romance was a thing I kidded about. How could I know about love? I didn't know about you. I didn't know about you.
Well, it's the same evening. Bert Wheeler is still on his search for crime. Bert and Mr. Fuddle are now walking in the park trying to dope out a dastardly deed so Bert won't have to marry Viola.
Gosh, Mr. Fuddle, what's this country coming to when an honest citizen can't get himself arrested?
I wish I could help you, Bert. But the only thing I was ever arrested for was asking a girl street directions.
Did they put you in jail for that?
Yeah, they said it was flirting with a strange woman. It was fun.
Well, I'm not looking for fun. I say, you mean if I flirt with a woman, I could get arrested? You know that's worth trying?
It sure is worth it, Bert.
Mr. Fuddle, you see that girl coming down the street with the dog?
Yeah?
She is going to put me in jail. Now, just watch this. Going my way, babe?
Why not, big boy?
Wait a minute, aren't you going to call a cop?
What for?
Well, because I'm flirting with you. Go on and call a cop.
You don't look like you'd need any help.
You mean you don't mind having a fella like me flirting with you?
Are you kidding? There's a manpower shortage, you know.
I'm not a man. I got no power, and I'm very short.
Forget it. Handsome.
Handsome? You think I'm handsome?
Yeah. In a peculiar sort of way. Now, look, Tarzan, why don't we take a little walk through the park, huh? And, watch the moon.
But suppose there's no moon tonight, then what'll we do?
I gotta have a talk with this boy. Now, come on, Sonny. We're wasting valuable time.
Well, I don't know. I'll have to ask my friend first. Please excuse me. Hey, Mr. Fuddle, what do I do now?
I don't know. From now on, you're in business for yourself.
Well, you see, Mr. Fuddle, it didn't work.
It's working all right, Bert. If people around town see you with another woman, Viola will get jealous. She won't want to marry you then.
Gee, I never thought of that. Besides, if I do go with her, I should have a little fun. Hey, Mr. Fuddle?
Oh, yes, Bert. Maybe she can play gin rummy or something.
That's an idea.
Yeah. Now, aren't you glad you're not going to jail?
And how? Just think how lucky I am. Oh, boy, would I hate to be locked up at a time like this.
Oh, boy, she's gorgeous. You know what you've got? Well, so long, Bertie.
Where you going?
Home to what I've got.
Well, big boy, I'm waiting. Are you, ready?
Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. How would you like to do me a favor? Would you mind walking past Fickett's drugstore with me?
Okay, and, you don't mind holding little Fido for me?
Oh, no, not at all. He's a cute little pup.
So are you. And I can't wait until I lock you in my arms.
Don't mention lock. It sounds too much like jail.
Jail was never like this.
I'll say. You know, I went crazy today trying to get myself arrested. Now, isn't that ridiculous?
Come on, honey. Let's walk through the park. It's the shortest way and the darkest.
Oh, boy, am I going to have fun tonight? Here, Fido, come here.
He's running away.
Wait, I'll get him. Hey!
Hey, you!
Oh, me, officer?
Yeah, you. Come along with me.
I'm not doing anything wrong.
Oh, no, you're under arrest.
For what?
For walking on the grass.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's the FreshUp Show for tonight. This is Jerry Lawrence pulling down that curtain and reminding you to be sure to tune in again next week at this time for another FreshUp Show starring Bert Wheeler. In the meantime, keep your refrigerator well stocked with plenty of 7-Up. And FreshUp, keep smiling with 7-Up. This is the Mutual Broadcasting System.
We don't get too many shows from Mutual Network. Most people these days don't even know what Mutual Network was, but it was CBS, NBC, then NBC split and became Red and Blue Network, which eventually the Blue Network became ABC. And then, but also, in addition to, starting around the mid-'30s, there was Mutual. Mutual was kind of the fourth sister of radio. For the most part, they didn't attract the same numbers of big stars or whatever as NBC and CBS, but they had some interesting programs, and they're not as easy to locate as some of the NBC and CBS stuff. So what you just heard was a Mutual Broadcasting System comedy starring Bert Wheeler from Wheeler and Woolsey in the FreshUp Show. And that's our special presentation for today. We'll be back on Thursday with another great adventure show. And next Tuesday, we'll go to the shelf and pull out another, hopefully rare and unusual or rare and great, depending on what we pull out, comedy show. So until then, this is John Tefteller in the Good Old Days of Radio Show saying goodbye.